Hi everyone, I am K.K.KAVITHA, Assistant Professor of Computer Science, A.D.M. College for Women, NAGAPATTINAM. Today we see about Python programming. First, introduction to Python. Python is a widely used general purpose, which is a high-level programming language. It was initially designed by Van Rossum in 1991 and developed by Python Software Foundation. It was mainly developed for emphasis on code readability, and its syntax allows programmers to express concepts in fewer lines of code. Python is a programming language that lets you work quickly and integrate systems more efficient. There are two more Python versions, Python 2 and Python 3. Python 2 is released in October 2016. 3rd December 2008, Python 3 version was released in more testing and includes their new features. Beginning with Python programming. Finding an interpreter. We start Python programming, we need to have an interpreter to interpret and run our programs. There are certain online interpreters like Greeks for Greeks and idea1.com or codepad.org that can be used to start Python without installing an interpreter. Windows. There are many interpreters available freely to run Python script like IDLE, which is Integrated Development Environment, which is installed when you install the Python software. Write about Python program. Script begins, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 and script ends. What are the difference between scripting language and programming language? Scripting language. A programming language that supports script programs written for a special runtime environment that automates the execution of tasks. Programming language means a formal language which can compress a set of constructions used to produce various kinds of output. Scripting language execution speed is low. Programming language compiler-based language are executed much faster than interpreter-based language are executed slower. Programming language can be divided into element-side scripting language and server-side scripting languages. Programming language can be divided into high-level, low-level languages or compiler-based or interpreter-based languages. Why to use Python? Why you use Python? The following are the primary factors to use Python in day-to-day life. Python is a object-oriented. That means structured support such as concept as polymorphism, operation overloading and multiple inheritance. Identification. Identity is one of the largest features in Python. It's a free open source. Download Python and install Python is free and easy. It is a powerful. There is dynamic typing, built-in types and tools, library utilities, third-party utilities. There is numeric, NumPy, SciPy. Automatic memory management. It is a portable one. Python runs virtually every major platform is today. As long as you have a compatible program interpreter installed, Python programs will run in exactly the same manner irrespective of platforms. It is easy to use and learn. No interpreter compiled. Python programs are compiled automatically to an intermediate from called bytecode, which the interpreter then reads. This gives Python the development speed of an interpreter without the performance loss inherited in purely interpreted languages. Structure and the syntax are pretty intuitive and easy to grasp. It is a 7th one, interpreted language. Python is processed at runtime by Python interpreter. Interactive programming language. Users can interact with the Python interpreter directly for writing the program. Straightforward syntax. The formation of Python syntax is simple and straightforward, which allows make it popular. Working with Python. Python code execution. Python traditional runtime execution model. Source code you type is translated to bytecode. which is done by the Python virtual machine PVM. Your code is automatically compiled, but then it is interpreted. Source code, bytecode, and runtime. There are two modes of using the Python interpreter: interactive mode and script mode. Data types. The data stored in memory can be many types. For example, a student roll number is stored as a numeric value. His or her address is stored in a alphanumeric character. Python has various standard data types that are used to define the operations possible on them and storage for each of them. Int or integer is a whole number, positive or negative without decimal or unlimited length. For example, print 246563546 plus 2 is the output. Print 20 of 20. Float. Float or floating point number is a number, positive or negative, containing one or more decimals. Float can also be scientific number with e to indicate the power of 10. Example, x equal to 35 e power I, y equal to 12 e. Print type of x, print type of y. This is the example of the floating. Basic list operation. List responds to the plus and axis or multiply operators much like strings. They mean concatenation and repetition here too, except that the result is a new list, not a string. Python expression, result and description. This is the example of list. Tuples. Tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. In Python, tuples written with round brackets. Support all operations for sequence. Input immutable, but member objects may be mutable. If the contents of a list shouldn't change, use a table to prevent items from accident begins added, changed, or deleted. Tuples are more efficient than lists due to Python implementation. We can construct tuple in many ways: x of values, and list. This is an example of tuples. Some of the operations in tuples: access tuple, change tuple, loop through a tuple, count, index of, and length of. Dictionary. Dictionary is a collection which is unordered, changeable, and indexed. In Python, dictionaries are written with curly brackets and they have keys and values. Key values were unordered. We can construct a clear dictionary like x of 1 is to a comma 2, 2 is to b comma 3 is to c. X of dictionary a comma 3, b comma 4. X of dictionary a equal to 1, b equal to 2. This is an example of dictionaries. Operations and methods. Methods are available with dictionaries or tabulated below. This is the methods and descriptions. Clear up. Remove all items from the dictionary. Copy of. Return a shadow copy of a dictionary. From keys. Return a new dictionary with a key from sequence and value equal to b. Get of key d. Return the value of key. If key does not exist, return d. Items of. Return a new view of the dictionary's item key values. Key of. Return a new view of the dictionary's keys. Pop key d. Remove the item with a key and return its value, or d if key is not found. If d is not provided and key is not found. Pop item of. Remove and return on arbitrary item. Rises key error if the dictionary is empty. Set default keys. If the key is a dictionary, return its value. If not, insert key with a value of d and return the default values. Update of. Update the dictionary with the key values passed from the other, overwriting existing the keys values. Return a new view of the dictionary. Functions. A function is a block of code that takes in some data and either performs some kind of transformation and returns the transformed data or performs some task on the data or both. Functions are useful because They provide a high degree modularity. Similar code can be easily grouped into functions, and you can provide a name to the function that displays what function is for. Functions are the simplest and sometimes the most useful tool for writing modular code. Parameter list. Parameter list of placeholder that define the parameters that go into the function. The parameter help to generate the transformation, computation, task that is needed to be done. In Python, parameters are enclosed the parentheses. Function docstring. These are optional structures that provide a convenient way for associated documentation to the corresponding function. Docstring. You are enclosed by triple quotes. You will write the docstring here. Function return. Python function return a values. You can define what to return by the return keyword in the example about the function return result. In case you don't define a return value, the function will return the none. How to call a function? Call a function with a return value. To call a function means that you are telling the program to execute the function. If there is a return value defined, the function would return the value, hence the function would return the none. To call the function, you write the name of the function followed by the parentheses. In case you need to pass parameters or arguments to the function, you write them inside the parentheses. This is the example at def two numbers. Number 1, number 2, return the sum of number 1 and number 2. This is equal to number 1 and number 2. Pass by reference and value. The function calling mechanism of Python differ from of C and C++. There are two main functions calling mechanism: call by value and call by reference. When a variable is passed to a function, what does the function to do it? If any changes to its variable doesn't get reflected in the actual argument, then it uses call by value mechanism. On the other hand, if the change is reflected, then it becomes called by reference mechanism. Original value modified or modified. No means called by value. Yes, we called by reference. C and C++ functions are said to be called by values. A function in C or C++ is called. The value of actual argument is copied to variable representing the forward argument. If the function modifies the value of forward argument, it does not reflect the variable that was passed to it. Python uses pass-by reference mechanism. A variable in Python is a label or reference to the object in the memory. Both the variable used as actual argument as well as formal argument relay refer to the same object in the memory. We can verify this fact by checking the ID of the passed variable before and after passing. Def test function of argument print ID inside the function ID argument. Variable equal to hello print ID before passing ID value test function of value. If the above code is executed, the ID before passing and insert the function is same. ID before passing 19968382941226. ID inside the function means 1996838294128. The behavior also depends on whether the passed object is mutable or immutable. Python numeric object is immutable. Function argument. The process of a function often depends on certain data provided to it while calling it. While defining a function, you must give a list of variables in the data passed to it collected. The variables in the parentheses are called formal arguments. When the function is called, value of each of the formal arguments must be provided. Those are called actual arguments. This is the syntax. The example: modified greeting function have name and argument. A string passed to the function as the actual argument becomes name variable inside the function. Def, greeting of name. This is a dog string of greeting function print. Hello, format name, return. Greeting, Samay, greeting, Pratima, and greeting, Steven. It will produce the following output. Hello, Samay, hello, Pratima, and hello, Steven. Function with return value. The return keyword as the last statement in function definition indicates end of the function block and program calls go back to the calling function. Although reduced intent after the last statement in the block also implies return by using explicit return is a good practice. Along with the flow control, the function can also return value of the expression to change the calling function. The value of returned expression can be stored in a variable for further processing. Example, let us define the add function. It adds the two values positive and return the addition. The return value is stored in a variable called result. Just add of x comma y, z equal to x plus y. Return is z. A equal to 10, b equal to 20. The result equal to add of a comma b. Print a equal to parenthesis b equal to and a plus b equal to. Format a comma b result. It will produce the following out: a equal to b, b equal to 20, a plus b equal to 30.